Alright guys, Great Training Systems, welcome back and welcome to our new series, Office Max, where we will teach you how to maximize your potential and mobility while in an office setting. And today we've got my client Christina Speth, that is runner and owner of Mammoth Design Creative Concept, and she is sitting at her desk for long hours, either working on the computer and or in meetings, and she is a perfect example of what we can teach you guys to do when you are forced to work long hours in an unproductive position, if you will. Alright, so moving to the first exercise, we're going to go ahead and switch this camera right here. And Christina, you've already been kind of prepped with what I want you to do. So what she's going to do here is she's just going to grab the back of your chair. Now, it doesn't matter what chair you have, you just need to have some type of backing. And if it goes high, if it goes low, it doesn't matter, because what you're going to realize is on your flexibility, everybody's going to have their own limits. So from here, Christina, we're going to go ahead and keep her in a normal range of motion because her flexibility can be quite good. So I would assume this is where some of you are going to probably start and also maybe end, which is totally okay. What we want to make sure we're doing is not, as I like to say, breaking at the chest or rounding our back. So Christina, why don't you go ahead and go into that broken position. If we start in this position, that is okay, but this is not what we want to hold. This is not what we want to stretch. So from here, I want Christina to really work on elongating that spine, kind of pulling against gravity and feeling the stretch, not only in her chest, but also in her bicep area. Now, as it begins to open up, if you can, Christina, why don't you go and just try to bring your arms a little bit higher. As you start to go higher, you're going to realize that you start to kind of break again at that chest, if you will. This is where you really want to work on that diaphragm breathing, so from that stomach, and really kind of accentuate that spinal movement and really organize yourself in a good position. From here, once you kind of feel that the shoulders have opened up a little bit, we go into something called the chicken dance. And what this is Christina's going to go about 10 times forward and back. So it's kind of just like that chicken dance going on there. However, this is a fantastic way, one, to not only open that capsule of the shoulder and to kind of get some more range of motion going, but also teach you and educate you on the way your shoulders can move. So when they are stuck in a frozen position, you find yourself starting to organize them and move them in a better position. So I like to say usually, Christina, about 5 to 10 times on that one, and then you want to hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then you can do it again, you can repeat the process, and then go into a higher stretch. Remember, you just want to breathe during this. You want to take to about 45 seconds to a minute. Don't make it too painful. If your hands start to go numb, that's not a problem. That just means you're kind of losing some of the blood flow because of the tightness. So then just go and take a break. And when you climb out of this stretch, the one thing we don't want to do is shake our arms out or really move in a spastic way. So go ahead and just climb out of that position, slowly let the blood come back, and when we're done, we should feel that our shoulders feel a little bit looser, and that ability to not want to fall forward and sit in that better organized position is easier. Alright, so the second stretch is also going to focus on really kind of accentuating that neutral position of our spine and really trying to put us back into that position that we want to be in, where we're not always forward flexed. So Christina's already been prepped. We've moved her a little bit back from her desk, and why don't you go and sit your arms up there on the desk, and from here she's just going to start to lean forward. But the cool thing about this is there's really no wrong position, number one, and what you will realize is there's many different positions in which you will feel different stretches. So first, I like to tell the people to imagine that there was a nice long rope or string kind of attached to your spine, really pulling you in both directions. And what this is doing is this is really helping to just elongate that spine, really kind of give some space within those vertebrae and bring them back to their neutral position. From here, what we're able to do is play a little bit with the rotation of the arms. So Christina will start to kind of externally rotate her arms out and also turn them in. And as you begin to rotate them, what you can do is, as you feel the different pieces of tightness, you can hold it there, breathe from the diaphragm, which means your stomach is getting fat when the air is coming in, and really try to release those areas. Now, we know that in flexion, the stable position of our shoulder is external rotation. So that would mean the stable position for her shoulder, in this case, would be out like this. Now, as you turn your arms, make sure you're not just turning your hands, but you're really moving from the entire shoulder complex. This is important because the shoulder is one of the major movement components, as we like to say in Physioland, a major engine of your body. So if you're doing everything just with your hand, that is very difficult for your body because that's not what your hand is made to do. We should be moving from the shoulder so we can really keep our body in that stable position. So from here, Christina is continuing to do the stretch. She's continuing to feel different areas of tightness, I see, yeah? Does it feel like you're starting to release a little bit, Christina, in some of these areas? And from here, what I like to do is I like to have people break at the back this time. So what Christina's gonna do is she's gonna really kind of actually try to, Christina, arch your back as if you're kind of coming into like a turtle-like position. What you will notice from here is you start to get a different pull into that latissimus muscle under our arm. For me, I actually feel this one even more than the other one because that is where my tightness is, because I'm really pulled forward from the deep lever of the shoulder. But what you will realize is you and your colleague might have completely different areas of tightness, or you might not even be able to do the movement I'm talking about. That is why these things are fantastic. Everyone's gonna have, as I like to say, different skeletons in their closet, and meaning when you're stretching, everyone's gonna have a different tightness, or in that sense, movement weakness. And what you're gonna maybe realize is some of these movements that we're able to do so easily, you're not able to. Or maybe your colleague can do one, but you can't do another. So not only are we able to find different areas of tightness and what is really going on, but at the same time, we're able to teach you how to move better, understand these small intrinsic exercises and movements, which then in return make you much more fluent in the language of your body and the position that you're holding while you're working. All right, so now we have you guys at a pretty funny angle, but a very important one, because the last stretch is going to be an awesome one to really stretch the global movement system of your spine, but also the individual vertebrae at the same time. So what we're gonna have Christina do now is go ahead and get in her position where her goal is gonna be to get the hands on the floor. So the first way I'm gonna have her do it is, Christina, why don't you go ahead and do the position where you be round at the back. From here, this is fantastic because as she rounds at her back, each one of those vertebrae, again, is being pulled apart, and that space that we want in between them is getting back. This is often lost because when we're sitting, we get this spinal compression in which the vertebrae and the discs, if you will, in between want to move together. So we want to do as much as we can to elongate these things out and bring the correct and the neutral space that we want back into them. Another fantastic one here is to work more on the global movement system here and have Christina kind of try to straighten her back and bring her chest up, but she's doing this by rotating the hips out. So we call this anterior tilt of the hips, and what that does is that's going to pull deep from her bottom hamstrings, and it's going to reset the neutral position of her hips that will allow her spine to be organized and find that neutral position. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and Christina, thank you very much for allowing me to use your office and you as my model. If you guys like these videos or you found them helpful, then definitely subscribe, and if you want that reminder, hit that bell up top because we will be doing these weekly because we feel that it's a very important topic that people need to understand how not to be broken in a world where we're basically working 60+ hours a week. Guys, also make sure to check out the other socials. We're big on Instagram. I'm going to do the same video but shorter. There, Facebook, I'm basically everywhere. Sign up for the newsletter at gtsgermany.com if you want to get the free lifestyle program. And as always guys, subscribe, like, share, be cool, keep going. Love yourself. Till next week. Peace.